So Tuesday night, City Councilman Elbert Holman is going to become Vice Mayor Elbert Holman. Um, Councilman Holman has been on the council for 8 years now. He was appointed back in 2009, replacing
Steve Bestolarides.
Steve Bestolarides, okay. And as a result, he has 2 more years left on the council, and he's going to go out as the vice mayor. What did that mean to you for Mayor Tubbs to come to you and tell you that he would like you to serve as his vice mayor?
That really meant a lot because I have a lot of respect for this young man. And to be able to serve our city in the capacity of the vice mayor under his leadership as mayor is really, to me, an honor. And so I'm really looking forward to the coming 2 years and working with him and the rest of the council.
What did he say to you, and when did he say it?
He actually said it to me election night when it was apparent that he was going to win the election, and it was at his election watch party where he was giving his acceptance speech of the position. When he stepped off the stage, he walked over to me and we embraced, and in my ear he said, "I want you as the vice mayor, and will you accept it?" And at that point I said yes. So it was election night.
Were you surprised, or?
Yeah, I was. I'm not surprised. I was surprised in a good way, because he had his choice of 6 council members, and I wasn't surprised. I think that Michael is a forward-thinking individual, and I think that when I look at what I bring to the table, I think that I would be a great, or not a great, but I would be a good vice mayor for him and the rest of the city. And so when he said it, it let me know that he's really on top of things.
What do you bring to the table that you think will be helpful to him? I mean, one thing that jumps out at me is he's 26 years old,
Mm-hmm.
the youngest person on the council, and possibly the youngest mayor of a big city in U.S. history.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the oldest member of the council with the most experience. Is that kind of what you're thinking? Or?
No, that's not what I'm thinking, because actually I think that Michael, although he's 26 years old, he's a very wise young man. That's what really intrigued me about him. He grasped the issues, and he grasped the issues in such a way that he understands it to where he's able to formulate a plan of action that's really viable. And for someone that young to be able to grasp these difficult and complex issues in the city, I've watched him as he sat on the council, that he really gets it. And so what I think I bring to the table for him is the fact that I've lived in Stockton for 67 years. I haven't lived anywhere else. I was in law enforcement for 34 years. In the capacity that I worked in law enforcement, I got to see a side of the city that no one else on this council has ever seen before, and it brings a different perspective about what's actually going on in the city, both behind the gate and in the disadvantaged areas. It's a perspective that I can bring. I led a unit in the district attorney's office that were involved in many investigations that involved the community. Case in point was Sheriff Dunn and the things that went on there, and so I think that I will be able to bring a little bit of wisdom to him and the rest of the council. I'm the only sitting member of this council that has been through every phase of the city's bankruptcy situation, from the beginning to where we are now. The things that I've learned over that course, I think are going to be helpful to the rest of the council who are just coming on in the midst of this, that I will be able to voice those things and render my opinion based on what I've experienced already. So I bring that kind of experience to the table that I think he'll be able to glean from.
Okay, so today is January 5th, 2017. You were appointed to the council on January 7th, 2009.
Yeah.
Michael Tubbs was 18 years old at the time.
I remember Michael coming before the council as a youth with the youth group.
And I watched the 2009 meeting where you were selected this morning, and listened to your answer. You did come on at a moment, literally, when things were really starting to go haywire economically for the city. The financial collapse for the entire country was in full swing, and Stockton obviously was as hard hit as anywhere. What was that like at that moment to come in? And did you even realize how bad things were at that moment?
No, and I think, Roger, that Stockton was in denial even then. And it was when myself and Supervisor Kathy Miller and former council member Dale Fritchen, we sat on the budget committee. At that time, Mayor Johnston appointed us to the budget committee. There were things that we saw going over the city's budget, that I think some people didn't feel that we'd actually look at it and study it. And we did, and we had questions that weren't being answered that appeared to be evasive. So when City Manager Gordon Palmer presented his proposed budget to the council that year, we voted against it. And it was the 4 freshman council members that voted against it, the incoming council members. The other council members wanted to pass it. Well, it was in that voting down of that proposed budget that things started to be revealed. Okay, because they had to come up with a revised budget, and
So
shortly after
were
that.
we all the way into June by then? Or
Yes, we were past. Yes, we were past June. Yeah,
past June?
I think
It
we
couldn't
were
be
past.
past.
No, I don't think we did it on time. If I remember correctly, we didn't. The budget was being proposed to us, was beating the deadline, but we shot it down.
Mm.
And I think shortly after that, the city manager resigned. So then that's when eventually we had to get an interim city manager, and then the interim city manager, then eventually we got Bob Dice.